and welcome to today's edition of the News in Brief on Graphic Online. In the headlines, government commiserates with Appiate residents and promises to rebuild community following tragic explosion. Meanwhile, victims of the disastrous explosion are appealing for support to rebuild their lives. Speaker of Parliament also empathizes with victims of Appiate blast and calls on Ghanaians to support the displaced. Lands Ministry says it has begun investigations into the explosion incident. And 7 suspects alleged to be involved in the Nima-Mamobi Youth Clash have been remanded. And now the news in brief. A government delegation led by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has visited Appiate, the farming community in the western region that suffered a tragic explosion on Thursday, to commiserate with victims. Speaking after a tour of the community Friday, Dr. Bawumia expressed the condolences of the government to the families of those who perished in the blast.
13 persons have so far been confirmed to have died from the blast. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who addressed the grieving residents, said the government is collaborating with mining companies and the State Housing Company Limited to rebuild their community. The entire community was leveled by the explosion. Vice President Bawumia said the government is committed to support families of the deceased and those injured, as well as cater for the medical bills of the 179 persons on admission from injuries. Meanwhile, preliminary investigation by the police has established that a vehicle carrying mining explosives, which was moving from Takwa to the Chirano gold mines, collided with a motorcycle, resulting in the explosion at Appiate.
First of all, on behalf of the President and the government, we wish to express our deepest condolences to those who sadly lost their lives from this very, very sad incident. For the houses that have been destroyed, we are already beginning to think about how to rehabilitate and rebuild for the community here. So I want to assure Nananum that His Excellency the President has given us directives. I've already spoken to the State Housing Corporation, and with them and in consultation with the mining companies around here, we will quickly try to put in place facilities that will help those who have been displaced.
Some residents of Appiate who survived the explosion and are currently being sheltered at the parish hall of the Catholic Church at Bogoso say they are yet to come to terms with their loss. When Graphic Online visited the shelter at about 5:30 a.m. today, the displaced persons, including women, children, and the aged, were already awake and awaiting further information from state actors.
The displaced residents tell Graphic Online that they have lost everything and are therefore appealing to Ghanaians and the government to come to their aid. A priest at the church, Father Edward Kujo, said with the support of the church members, they will create more rooms to accommodate the number of people received. The zonal director of NADMO, Mr. James Amfumensa, who was at the premises, said provisions are also being made to cater for their feeding. He added that a medical team will also be deployed to assist victims who have been traumatized by the incident.
Meanwhile, Speaker of Parliament Mr. Alban Bagbin, in a statement, has also expressed shock at the Appiate explosion and sends his condolences to victims. He is encouraging residents in their adjoining communities to open their doors to the victims, adding that Ghanaians can also offer support to ease the grief of the victims. Still on the explosion at Appiate, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources says it is commencing investigation into the circumstances surrounding the explosion. A statement signed by the head of public relations at the ministry, Mr. Ibrahim Otabel, says the minister has directed the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission to thoroughly investigate the events leading to the accident in line with the Minerals and Mining Explosive Regulations 2012 LI 2177. In our final story, 7 out of 10 suspects arrested in connection with the Nima-Mamobi Youth Clash have been remanded into police custody by the Accra Circuit Court. The suspects have all pleaded not guilty to the charge of rioting with weapons and causing harm.
The 7 are Abdul Gafaru, Atarura Bassam, Abdul Mumuni Gariba, Muhammad Sabi Barinu, Bashiru Ganiru, Ilyasu Salim, and Issa Seidu. According to the prosecution, Aziz Suleiman and Ibrahim Moro are on admission, while the ringleaders Ali Awudu, aka Bombo, and Ibrahim Hussein, aka Kumoji, are on the run. The court remanded the suspects to allow the prosecution to conduct a thorough investigation. They are to reappear on February 1 this year.
News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching today's edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at GraphicGH. I am Juliet Echan Safo.
Subscribe now.